بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. After talking about causality in general and certain points about causality, now it's the time to enter into a detailed discussion about different types of cause. As you remember, we said from Greek, philosophers' age, like Aristotle, there was a discussion about four types of causes: al-illatul fa'iliyya, al-illatul gha'iyya, al-illatul suriyya, al-illatul maddiyya. Al-illatul fa'iliyya is the one who actually does the action or creates. If the action is creation, creates, gives existence, does something. This is called al-illatul fa'iliyya. According to Muslim philosophers, there are different types of illat fa'ili. The illat, which is the agent, which is the doer. There are different types. Allama Tabatabai in this chapter not only introduces to us different types of illat fa'ili, but also he tries to explain how this is coming as a logical classification, as a matter of yes or no. Because we say taqsim al-thunai, dual division. If it is between yes and no, then it is exhausting. You cannot have a third option. So we say fa'il is either aware of its action or not. Sometimes fa'il is not aware of what he's doing. Sometimes fa'il is aware. If it is not aware, sometimes the action is pleasant, means it's suitable for its nature. Sometimes it's not pleasant. It's not mula'im li tab'ihi. Like fa'il bil qasr. If it is aware, then again, based on whether this knowledge is before or at the time of the action, and if it is before, whether there is a purpose or intention or not. There are different types of fa'il. Inshallah, we discuss them one by one. But at the end, then we say, this is all when fa'il is doing something. We have times that someone has control and makes something do something. Then the second one, although looks that is doing, but is not really doing, is fa'il musakhar. Means it's the agent which is, can we say captivated? Means something else has taken control of it. Dominated or is ruled or governed by something else. For example, imagine if someone takes my hand and takes a pen with my fingers and write. Okay, I am writing, but I am not fa'il bil qasd, like when I am writing myself. I am now fa'il musakhar, means someone else is controlling me. Okay? So, first we talk about غير musakhar, those that they themselves are doing something. Then at the end he says it's also possible that it is musakhar. Let's first see the beginning. Al-Faslu Sadis Al-Illatul Fa'iliyatu wa Aqsamuha. Chapter 6, the cause which is the doer, the acting cause, the agent, wa aqsamu, and its different types. Al-illatul fa'iliyah, and we mean by illat fa'iliyah وهي التي تفيض وجود المعلول, the one that gives the existence of ma'lul, وتفعله, or does the, although it is wav, but here it might be better to say oh, because it's either gives existence or does it, because sometimes, as you will see, it's not a matter of giving existence, it's a matter of doing something. So illat fa'ali has different types. وَقَدْ ذَكَرُوا فِي وَجْهِ ضَبْطِهَا. Philosophers have mentioned the point about how to make sure that everything falls under these divisions. You know, ضَبْطِهَا means how this can be registered in an exhausting way. It means nothing falls behind this. أن الفاعل إما أن يكون له علم بفعله أو لا. Fa'il either has knowledge about its own action or not. Is aware or not. Wathani, we will explain all of them again. Just now we are just classifying them by one we mention, we give examples, so don't worry. Either agent is aware of its own action or not. Wathani, if it is not. So first let's finish those which are not aware, because it has only two types. Then we go to those things that have knowledge, that has more types. Wathani, what does it mean wathani? The one that does not have knowledge. Imma an yula'ima fi'luhu tab'ah wa huwa al-fa'ilu bil-tab'ah, or la yula'im wa huwa al-fa'ilu bil-qasr, qasr with sin. The one that does not have knowledge of his own action, either his action is pleasant for its nature, suitable, fa'ila bitab means by its own nature is doing this, or it is not suitable, it means that it's from external force. This is fa'ila bil qasr. Qasr means with interference, with something from outside. For example, inshallah we will mention fa'il bitab, like your soul. Your soul manages activities of your physical faculties. For example, blood circulation. Who does blood circulation? Your soul. Your nafs is in charge of it. And if nafs is separated, your body dies. It's the soul that beats the heart and blood circulation. But is soul aware of what is doing? No, even you might be sleeping, or you might be a child. It's not that you have to study medicine and know what is blood circulation. The soul does it automatically. Whether you know it, you don't know it, you are aware or not, the soul is doing this. Yeah? And this is your taba by nature. But when you become ill and something comes and makes your blood pressure high, for example, or low, again your soul is beating the heart more or less, but this is not normal. This is not betaba. This is belqasr. There is an external factor that has imposed this type of work. Okay? Al-fa'ilu belqasr. There is a big discussion in philosophy, and I think we had it in previous book, that al-harakatul qasriya la tadum. When emotion is caused by external interference, it cannot continue forever. It will stop. Al-harakatul qasriya la tadum. For example, if you send something to the air, it is against gravity. To come down is by taba. They come down because of gravity. But when you throw them to the air, this cannot continue. After some time, it comes back because it is qasri. Then we can bring this also in tarbiyah. You can bring this to tarbiyah. If you make sure that, for example, your trainee, your child, your student develops personal love for something, then this can go with them forever. But if it is pressure, you are watching them and they do it, then this cannot be going forever. When you are away, that stops. You can bring it to tarbiyah also. Okay. So, the one which does not have knowledge of its action, إما أن يلائم فعله طبعا, either its action suits its own tab, its own nature and disposition, and this is al-fa'ilu bi-tab', the doer, the agent by nature, or la yula'im, or it doesn't suit its disposition or nature. وهو الفاعل بالقصر. This is the agent, the doer, بالقصر, means by external forces. Okay, this was the second type. Now let's go to the first type. What was the first type? The one who has knowledge. والأول, the one which has knowledge. وهو الذي له علم بفعله, the one who has knowledge about its own action. Then this is again divided into two parts. إن لم يكن فعله بإرادته, if its action is not according to its own will. This is called al-fa'ilu bil-jabr. This is the agent which is forced to do something, which is compelled to do something. No, it's different. Qasd is not aver, but jabr is aver. And here we mean by jabr ikrah. We will explain. So like someone takes a gun and says, do this, otherwise I kill you. So you are aware of what you are doing, but you don't want to do it. Sometimes you have will to do it. Then again, when you have will to do it, has lots of types. Is your will coming with action or is before action? If it is before action, is your will and intention additional to your essence or is not additional to your essence? So there are different types. So, the one which has knowledge, إِن لَمْ يَكُنْ فِعْلُهُ بِإِرَادَتِهِ, if its action or his action is not according to his own will or its own will, فَهُوَ الْفَاعِلُ بِالْجَبْرِ, is the agent بِالْجَبْرِ. Inshallah, later I will explain that according to Allama Tabatabai, actually this is not a good example. I don't want to complicate it now, but inshallah later we will say that this is not really jabr. Ikrah is different from jabr. Because even in ikrah, at the end, it's you who decides. So we would say that even fa'il bil-ikrah is indeed fa'il bil-qasd. From philosophical point of view, you are making the decision. Whether you like it or not, you have made the decision. We are not talking about moral or legal perspective. We can say morally or legally you are not responsible, but from philosophical point of view, you have decided to do it. But that is what Allama says at the end, and doesn't mention the reason, but in Nihayatul Hikmah, he explains this point. But I had to say it now so that you can better understand. إما الأول هو الذي له علم بفعله إن لم يكن فعله بإرادته. If his action or its action is not according to his will, it is called الفاعل بالجبر. وإن كان بها, if it is with his will. Again, it's divided. إما أن يكون علمه بفعله في مرتبة فعله بل عين فعله. Either it's an awareness and knowledge about its action is at the level of action, means when he is doing, he has knowledge. Or even more, the knowledge and action are the same. Inshallah, we'll explain later, but it seems you are not patient. So, like for example, Sovar Khiyali, your mind creates mental images. Who creates it? Your mind. Are you aware of them or not? Yes. Is it forced from outside? No. And what is your ilm and what is your fail? They are the same. Your ilm and fail are the same. So not only you have knowledge about your action, and not only your knowledge exists with your action, it is actually your own action. أن يكون علمه بفعله في مرتبة فعله. Its knowledge about its own action is at the level of the fail action. Indeed, it's the same as the action. بل عين فعله وهو الفاعل بالرضا. It's the agent which is doing things by pleasure, means by its own will and pleasure.
If beyond is something that you don't like, beyond that comes to your mind, it's not something that you like, you don't enjoy, but something bad that you think about.
So if someone is putting in your mind something, then it can be bil jabr. But if you are yourself bringing it, then it's this.
Even if you're not, for example, you had an experience.
Although you don't enjoy it, yes. Sometimes we think of things and then we suffer.
So the result,
You have to manage your mind.
why is it called the result that if you suffer from?
Because you are doing it. It's not bil jabr. They had to give a name to all of this, so they had a few words. Otherwise, fa'il bil qas, fa'il bil raza doesn't make that much difference. But they wanted to have different terms for each of them. وإما أن يكون علمه بفعله قبل فعله, or its knowledge about action is before action. The previous one, as I said, at the time of the action you have knowledge. Indeed, the action is knowledge. For that, they don't say bil qasd or whatever. They say bil reza, because qasd is normally when you intend and do it later. Reza means you are happy, and it means because you are doing this, you are happy. Although reza can be for something that you do in future, but qasd has certainly to be. So they kept reza for the one which is at the same time, and then we have qasd and others. إما أن يكون علمه بفعله قبل فعله. Again, this is divided. إما أن يكون علمه مقرونا بداع زائد. You know that you want to go to the school. You know in advance. And then you go to a school. It's not that when you are in the school you realize that you wanted to come to school. You decide to go to a school, so your ilm is before doing, and then you do it based on your ilm, but also you have additional reason. It's not just because it came to your mind to go to school, you did it. Why did you come to school? Just it came to my mind. No. You have da'i. Da'i means motive. You have additional. Za'id means additional. Means you have a reason. Yeah, you have a kind of motive. Say, I have come to school to see my child's teacher, for example. Yeah, so there is da'i. إما أن يكون علمه بفعله قبل فعله, and this by itself is divided. إما أن يكون علمه مقرونا بداع زائد, either his knowledge is accompanied by additional motive, and this is فاعل بالقصد. وإما أن لا يكون علمه مقرونا بداع زائد, or its knowledge or his knowledge is not accompanied by additional reason or motive. How? بل يكون نفس العلم فعليا منشأ للصدور المعلوم. Just as soon as he got the knowledge, he did it. Doesn't need additional motive. Just thinking, then doing. Like what? Someone is on top of a tree, for example. Pardon?
Feel like thirst when you feel thirsty and you start feeling.
If you lose control, yes. But if you have control and you decide to quench your thirst, no. That's fa'il bil qasd. But if you do things automatically, like what? They say, for example, someone is on top of a tree or a branch of the tree. And as soon as he sees down the ground and think of, I may fall, he falls. He himself falls. It's just enough to think that I am going to fall, then he falls. I don't know, have you ever gone close to this?
Laws of attraction. It will happen.
Yes. So sometimes you don't want to do it, but when it comes, it seems that you are just into it. Pardon?
What is the Arabic term?
فاعل بالتجلي. So, but it has also different types. We will mention one. So, إما أن لا يكون علمه مقرونا بداء زائد بل يكون نفس العلم فعليا منشأ لصدور المعلول. The fact that knowledge is actual is the source, the reason for action or ma'lul, the effect coming. again, this by itself is either علمه زائدا على ذاته يكون علمه زائدا على ذاته, the knowledge is additional to the essence, هو الفاعل بالعناية أو غير زائد على ذاته وهو الفاعل بالتجلي. It's not additional to the essence, it is فاعل بالتجلي. Okay, we will explain all of them. All this from فاعل بالتاب بالقصد بالرضا بالقصد بالتجلي بالعناية, all of them is when the fa'il is really doing something. Opposite to this is al-fa'ilu bit-tasghir, means is under the control of something else. وَالْفَاعِلُ فِيمَا تَقَدَّمَ إِذَا نُسِبَ إِلَى فِعْلِهِ من جهة أنه وفعله فعل لفاعل آخر كان فاعلا بالتسخير. If the agent and its own action are under another fa'il, we call it fa'il بالتسخير.
Like jabr.
No, jabr for them is ikrah, is not really jabr. فَلِلْفَاعِلِ أَقْسَامٌ ثَمَانِيَةٌ. Now let's decide them, study them one by one. Okay? One by one, we want to study them. أحدها الفاعل بالطبع. فاعل by its own disposition or nature. وهو الذي لا علم له بفعله, has no knowledge about its own action, but فعله ملائم لطبعه, because the one that has no knowledge, we said it's either ملائم or غير ملائم. الذي لا علم له بفعله مع كون الفعل ملائما لطبعه. On the board I have mentioned, so that's the first line. كالنفس في مرتبة القوى البدنية الطبيعية. The soul has different actions, but soul with respect to bodily faculties which function naturally when you are healthy and your organs work properly. تفعل أفعالها بالطبع كالنفس في مرتبة القوى البدنية الطبيعية تفعل أفعالها بالطبع. Soul in this level does her actions بالطبع. الثاني الفاعل بالكسر, with sin, not sad. قصر sad means palace. Sin means force, pressure, external force. هو الذي لا علم له بفعله. This is common between فاعل بالتاب and فاعل بالقصر. Okay? But what is different is لا فعله ملائم لطبعه, and his action is not pleasant, is not suitable. The nature is not natural. كالنفس في مرتبة القوة means القوة البدنية الطبيعية, but عند المرض, when you are ill, there is a dysfunction. Still, it's your soul that is controlling blood circulation, but because of an illness, the blood pressure is high or low. فإن الأفعال تنحرف فيه means في المرض and مجرى الصحة. Actions when you are ill go out of the path of health. لعوامل قاصرة, because of factors which are interfering. عوامل. Why I say عوامل? لعوامل فواعل, because غير منصرف. عوامل قاصرة غير منصرف عوامل غير. الثالث الفاعل بالجبر, the one which has knowledge, هو ما له علم بفعله, but وليس بإرادته, but it's not according to his own will. كالإنسان يكره على فعل ما لا يريده, like a person who is compelled to do what he doesn't want to do. They say if you don't do this, for example, we punish you or you will be deprived from something. الرابع الفاعل بالرضا, وهو الذي, of course فاعل بالرضا also has knowledge, but هو الذي له إرادة وعلمه التفصيلي بالفعل عين الفعل, and its detailed knowledge about action is the same as action. وليس له قبل الفعل إلا علم إجمالي به بذاته. Before action doesn't know what is the action. Yes, has ilm ijmali about his own essence. I know myself, so I know my actions. But this is different from me deciding to go somewhere and deciding to say something. You know, this ilm ijmali means that just because you know yourself, you know what it might be happening from you. But you really don't have knowledge and then action. كالإنسان يفعل الصور الخيالية, like a human being that in his mind makes mental images. وعلمه التفصيلي بها عينها, and his detailed knowledge about this sowar is the same as sowar. وَلَهُ قَبْلَهَا, and before making these mental images, like for example you imagine something, or even you may create something by imagination, you know, a horse with 5 heads, for example, because khayal can be imagination or can be something which is stored in your mind. Like you imagine your friend. So if your friend is not imaginary. So khayal is sometimes what is stored from what you have perceived, and sometimes it is what also you do Photoshop. Yes, in your mind. So ilmuhu tafsili biha, when you have detailed knowledge about this, when you do it and actually you're doing is the same as your knowledge. Aynuha wa qablaha ilmun ijmaliyun biha, before you have a very kind of holistic knowledge about it, as you know yourself, just you know what you may be doing. According to Ishraqiyun, Sheikh Ishraq and his followers, Illuminationist school of philosophy, they believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's action is in this way. Like do you remember I told you many times maybe that the closest thing that we can experience about creating is about our mental images. Remember, we said this many times. According to Ishraqiyun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's way of doing things is like this. So his detailed knowledge about us is the same as our existence, because we are present to him. is our existence. Because we are present to him and he has knowledge by presence. Al-Khamis, Al-Fa'ilu bil-Qasd. The one who does something by qasd. Qasd means to intend. Yes? وهو الذي له إرادة وعلم بفعله قبل الفعل بداع زائر. He has will and he has knowledge about the action before action, and he has additional motive. So just ilm is not the reason for doing. It's not that I do things just because I know. Okay, I know also how not to do it. Yes? كالإنسان في أفعاله الاختيارية. Human beings in their voluntary actions. They decide to do something, and before doing it, they know that they want to do it, and then they know what they want to do, then they do it. السادس الفاعل بالعناية. فاعل بالعناية. عناية means consideration, attention. It's the meaning of inaya. It's a kind of having favor upon someone with consideration. هو الذي له إرادة وعلم سابق على الفعل زائد على ذات الفاعل. So has will, has knowledge before action, and it is additional to the essence of the fa'il, the agent. نفس الصورة العلمية منشأ لصدور الفعل. Just this scientific image, this mental image, I don't want to say mental, but scientific. But for us it's mental. But for God we don't say mental. So this scientific image, منشأ لصدور الفعل, is the reason for doing this. من غير داع زائد, without any additional motive. Like the person who is on top of edge or a tree, and as soon as he thinks of dropping, he drops. كالإنسان الواقع على جذع عال. Yes. A human being who is standing على جذع خذي إليك بجذع النخلة تساقط عليك رطبا. جذع means branch. Someone has gone on top of a tree, is standing on a very high branch of the tree. فإنه بمجرد توهم السقوط يسقط على الأرض. As soon as he thinks of dropping and falling, he falls. مشاؤون. Peripatetic philosophers, they say God's actions are like this. Not in the sense of falling, in the sense that he doesn't need to have additional motive. Thinking and doing. Pardon? Yes. But Mullah Sadra and Allama Tawatabai don't accept this. السابع الفاعل بالتجلي. فاعل by manifestation. وهو الذي يفعل الفعل, the one that does the action while has علم وله علم سابق تفصيلي به. Has knowledge before, and this knowledge before is not ijmali, is tafsili, has detailed knowledge about it. There is a big discussion, inshallah we will have later, about knowledge of God, about details. al-ilmu bil-juz'iyat. Pardon? Yes, lots of discussions among philosophers. How God knows the details. Because you cannot think that God has different pieces of knowledge. Or how God knows mutagayyirat without his knowledge being mutagayyir. According to Mullah Sadra, ilmuhul ijmali at the same time has kashf tafsili. He has one knowledge, but in that knowledge all things are known. Yeah? So one picture, but in that picture everything is there. Pardon?
All inclusive.
Oh, yes. So there is no change in his knowledge, but all the changes are in his knowledge. You understand? Lahu ilmun sabiqun tafsiliyun bihi. He has a previous knowledge in a detailed way about the action, which is aynu ilmihi al-ijmali bi-dhatihi, which is his own knowledge about himself, because his actions are inside that knowledge. كالنفس الإنسانية المجردة فإنها لما كانت الصورة الأخيرة لنوعها كانت على بساطتها هي المبدأ لجميع كمالاتها وآثارها الواجدة لها في ذاتها. There are two examples. One is God, according to Mullah Sadra, not according to Masha'in and Ishraqin. Another example is human beings. Human beings, they have immaterial soul. Nafs al-insaniyat al-mujarrada. You remember we said nafs is one type of johar, which is mujarradun zatan. Although in its action needs matter, but zatan is mujarrad. Because nafs insani lamma kanat surat al-akhirata li-naw'iha. For insan, you have different fasl. What is the last fasl? Is natiq. And fasl and surat are the same. Just the difference is in what? Bishart Allah and la bishart. Fasl is la bishart, surat is bishart Allah. So, natiq is fasl akhir, and nafs natiqah is surat akhirah. Okay? So, the very last form, substantial form for humanity is nafs natiqah. Okay. So, this nafs, this soul, ala bisatatiha, with its simplicity, not absolute simplicity, in the sense that nafs is one whole, one unit. Hiyal mabda'u jami'a kamalata. All the perfections of the soul are in this unit. وآثارها الواجدة لها في ذاتها, and every effects, every thing that come from nafs, they are all there. وعلمها الحضور بذاتها, and the knowledge by presence that nafs has about itself, because we said nafs has knowledge by presence about itself and about its qualities and conditions. Yeah? علمها الحضور بذاتها علم بتفاصيل كمالاتها. So nafs knows what perfections it has. وإن لم يتميز بعضها من بعض, although they are not separated from each other because basit. Or another example, كالواجب تعالى, like واجب الوجود based on what we will discuss in the discussion about ilm, that wajibul wujud has ilm ijmali fi ayn al-kashf al-tafsili, according to Mullah Sadra. من أن له تعالى علما إجماليا في عين الكشف التفصيلي. Inshallah, in section 12, this would come. That his holistic or his simple knowledge about himself has everything inside. Okay? الثامن الفاعل بالتسخير. This is the فاعل هو الفاعل إذا نسب إليه فعله من جهة أن لنفس الفاعل فاعلا آخر. We call something فاعل بالتسخير when the agent, the fa'il itself, has another فاعل. إليه يستند هو وفعله. Our fa'il and its action are attributed to that one which controls our fa'il. فهو فاعل مسخر في فعله. سخرنا لكم. In Quran says سخر لكم. سخرنا means we made it manageable for you, means we manage it. So this fa'il is musakharun fi fi'l, means it's under management of something else. كالقوة الطبيعية والنباتية والحيوانية المسخرة في أفعالها للنفس الإنسانية. Your hair is growing. Your nail is growing, your heart is beating, your skin is living. So they do actions, but they are under nafs. Because nafs is doing all these things. Okay? So we have a hierarchy. وَكَالْفَوَاعِلِ الْكَوْنِيَّةِ المسخرة للواجب تعالى في أفعالها. If there are, for example, say stars, or in the past they were, talking about aflak. Aflak, different heavens. Yes, so they believed in 9 falak and 10 aql. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then first aql, but then first aql creates the second aql and first falak. Like this. So they are under Allah's management without their own will or whatever, for example. Then he says very briefly, وَفِي كَوْنِ الْفَاعِلِ بِالْجَابْرِ وَالْفَاعِلِ بِالْإِنَايَةِ مباينين للفاعل بالقصد مباينة نوعية على ما يقتضيه التقسيم كلام. He says in this classification, فاعل بالعناية and فاعل بالجبر are mentioned as separate types compared to فاعل بالقصد. Yeah, because it seems that they are not fa'il bil qasd, because we said either this or this or this, So he says there is a kalam, but he doesn't say what is the kalam. But I told you, he says that they are falling under fa'il bil qasd. Why? Because mukrah, the one who is under pressure and compelled to do something, they say if you don't do it, we will kill you, for example. Still he is fa'il bil qasd. Still he can decide not to do. Yeah. We are not saying that he has, for example, no excuse. Yeah, maybe this is excuse and he can say, I am not responsible. In some cases it's excuse, sometimes it's not excuse. Yeah. For example, if they say, if you don't kill someone, we will kill you. You cannot kill him. But if say, if you don't say this, we will kill you, maybe sometime you have to say it. It depends what is the issue. But sometimes it's okay to say something to save your life. But if it's going to cause great harm or kill people, of course, no. It depends. In any case, you decide. Or in fa'il bil inayat, the one that considers drop, falling, and falls. Again, that Allama says that is fa'il bil qasd. Because he quickly decides to fall. You know? So he thinks of falling, then he quickly decides to fall, out of worry. Then he cannot stop it. Okay? So he says these are not separate from fa'il bil qasd. So please do mubahasa and study, and if you have questions, inshallah, we can discuss. But we will have in future, inshallah, good discussion about the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala acts. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.